Hey guys, Matt from KRT Reloading and Gear Channel, and it still feels weird saying that, guys. I'm used to saying Matt from Kentucky Range Time. So if you're new to the channel, to this channel, Kentucky Range Time is my primary channel, and I've started up this secondary channel to do more reloading type content on trying to keep strikes off my primary page that YouTube keeps liking to give me for I don't know what, but anyway, they do, and this is a solution to it. But today, I've got we've had several pretty decent size orders for reloading components in the last two weeks, and I'm going to go over and highlight some of the bullets that we've picked up and some of the things that are coming up in the gel block testing that will be on the Kentucky Range Time channel. So let's get turned around here and we'll take a look through these bullets. So I get requests all the time from viewers and subscribers about particular bullets that they'd like to see me test. And guys, whenever I'm shopping online, my normal thing is to go get what I'm after and then try to load up on, well, within budget constraints, load up on as many different bullets that I can find in stock that I haven't already tested. And what happens is manufacturers set up the equipment to make certain bullets at certain times of the year on a certain sequence. So they'll release these bullets to the big distributors, maybe only once a year, and when they're gone, if those sell out in 2 to 3 months, and what happens is you may go 9 months and not be able to find a bullet in stock anywhere, so you won't be able to purchase it. So what I've discovered is that springtime is when a lot of the bullets seem to come out, especially the spear bullets, and that's what I've had some really good luck finding the last couple of weeks. And so what I'm doing is I'm picking these bullets up. I've dropped nearly $1,000 in the last week and a half or 2 weeks on bullets and some dies and stuff, some reloading equipment, and but I have a collection of bullets here that's going to extend my gel block testing through the fall. I mean, maybe through into early winter next fall. I mean, I've got enough bullets on the bench now to last for quite a while. And let's take a quick look at what's coming up here. And if you see your favorite in here, keep in mind that as I get a chance, I'll be going back and testing these. So we've got the Spear jacketed hollow point. This is a 125 grain hollow point and a pretty nice bullet here. Lead nose, got a concave base on it, and I'll be loading this one in 357 and 38 special. And then as we move on down the line here, I have found some deep curls, guys. I get lots of requests for deep curl bullets here. So these are the deep curl hollow points, 158 grain, also from Spear. And again, we have a concave base here, and we've got that signature deep curl hollow point indention here. And really looking forward to running these in 357. And what I'll probably do is, if we get decent results all the way down to the 2-inch barrel on this, I may go ahead and load this in 38 special as well. If we don't get very much expansion with the 2-inch barrel with 357, then it may not be worth wasting the bullets to test them in 38 special. But if possible, I do plan on loading these in 38 special as well. So moving on down the line, next up we've got the Hornady DGH, and I've got a separate video kind of giving you some more information on these, but this is Hornady's new line of bullets. It just came out. We're in the second week of April, and these bullets came out about 3 weeks ago. So these have only been on the market for 3 weeks. I got lucky last week. I hit Midway USA. And guys, I've managed to pick up these DGH bullets in every caliber that Hornady makes them in, except for 9mm. So we'll be seeing some more of these as we go on down the line. But this new design has a very antimony heavy lead mix in this. If I can get it to focus in here. So what happens is this lead inside the copper jacket is so hard that it has very minimal, if any, expansion, and it actually makes this act like a solid bullet. But what happens is, for the same volume now, this is a heavy for weight bullet. So this is 165 grain DGH. I'm guessing this is maybe going to be really close to the 158 grain. Yeah, fairly close. So we're getting a little bit more weight for the same volume of bullet because of the greater antimony content in the lead mixture. And that again will take up less room in the case, gives us more room for powder, means we can push this thing a little bit harder. So that's a plus over, and it's really a great idea over using solid copper bullets, because you give up weight for more volume when you're running solid coppers. Moving on down the line, we'll be looking at the SIG V crown in 10 millimeter. This is 165 grain jacketed hollow point, and again, these V crowns are pretty sweet looking. If you can look down in there, there's like a little star right down inside the very bottom of this bullet here. And first off, I'll test this in 10 millimeter. We'll see how it does, and then I may also try to do a loading in 400 Legend with this bullet. Now, the velocities of 400 Legend up close, like a lot of the tests that we do up close, we're going to probably overdrive this, but we are using a rifle round, and it's already been resized. That's a piece of 400 Legend brass there. But at 80, 90 yards, as this bullet slows down, then it's going to come into its own, and it may make a very, very nice performing bullet out of 400 Legend out to a couple hundred yards. So, and that'll be pretty typical with a lot of these 10 millimeters pistol bullets that we're going to be testing. All right, moving on down the line, we've got the 10 millimeter DGH. This is a 200 grain. And again, you know, this looks kind of small for a normal 200 grain bullet, and it's because of that higher antimony content. And right on down the line, we've got a Nosler 170 grain. And I've not tested a lot of Nosler bullets because now you can only buy Nosler handgun bullets in boxes of 250, and those normally run about $200. This is an older box. This was old stock that I picked up in a store. One of our local LGSs over here, they buy a lot of reloading components from people who have gotten older, or they've stockpiled and finally realized they're not going to need all that stuff. And so they have stuff like this cycling on the shelf a lot. So anytime I see some of these smaller quantities, especially in the Noslers, I pick those up because, like I said, it's really hard to pick these up in quantities less than 250 now. And here's a look down into the belly of this beast here. I run the Nosler 135 grain in 10 millimeter, and those things are screaming. So it'll be interesting to see how these things do here as well at a little bit lower velocity. And again, if we get decent performance in the 10 millimeter, we may look at putting this one into the 400 Legend as well. All right, moving on down. We got the last two offerings here. Actually, I've got more than that, but this is all I can fit on the table. Back again to the DGS bullets, 240 grain DGH, dangerous game hunting. And there's a good look at that heavy antimony content lead core of this bullet. And like I said, guys, I'm excited to try these. These have only been out a few weeks, so I may try to rush and do some of the testing on these DGHs because they are so new. I'm sure people are really interested in how they're going to perform. And then we've got the Barnes XPB here. So this is a 200 grain XPB all copper. And we probably will be loading this one in both 44 mag and 44 special. So stay tuned for that. We've already tested a couple of the other XPBs in the 44 mag sizing. All right, guys, before we go on and look at the big boy bullets, literally they're the big boy bullets. It's the 460 and the 500 Smith & Wesson bullets. Before we get there, though, I want to remind you guys to hit the like and subscribe button. And in the description of the video, I will have a thing there that will take you to my affiliate partners. And I have over 200 affiliate partners now. Everybody from body armor to archery to outdoors and camping to reloading supplies. And I mean, every major company just about optics and holsters and cleaning and safety. I mean, just a ton of great companies there. And if you're doing shopping at those companies, the page will generate a small commission that helps offset the cost of all these bullets that that I've been buying, guys. I don't know the last time that I actually spent that much, but what happens, like I said earlier, these bullets, they're only in stock for a short time every year. And I've been getting lots of requests for these. And while they were there, I just literally pulled the trigger on them and went ahead and threw them in the cart and got them in here. So, like I said, a lot of them are going to end up sitting here for probably 4, 5, 6 months before I can get into them. And some of these bullets I'll be using in calibers that I'm not even discussed on here yet. I mean, I'm going to have some stuff in 454. I'm going to have some stuff in 45 Colt. The 460 Smith & Wesson bullets, actually, they'll load, it's a .452 diameter bullet. That loads 45 Colt, 454 Casull, and 460 Smith & Wesson. So getting this box of bullets allows me to test 3 different calibers out of that same box. So we'll be leveraging that like we have with the 44 mag and the 38 357 bullets. And we'll get as much mileage out of these boxes of bullets as we can before it's over with, but it will take some time. So, all right, let's continue on. Let's turn around here and finish taking a look at these. So first up here, we've got the 250 grain deep curl hollow point bullet, and this is a deep curl HP. It is .452 diameter, and it is more suited to 45 Colt. So again, this is one of these bullets that we're probably going to be exploding up close, especially with the 460. But when we get out to 80, 90 yards out of the 460, then we should be getting some really nice expansion on this bullet. And so keep that in mind. We will do some tests with downloads again. I'll be loading these rounds down so that we can shoot them out of one barrel length and try to generate 4 or 5 different velocities and expansion examples here with this bullet. And that'll be typical with all these bullets, guys. So I'll be able to generate a range chart for the slow loads and show what kind of expansion we'll get, you know, several hundred yards down range. And next up, we've got the 300 grain deep curl. Now this is the traditional deep curl bullet here, and with that deep curl hollow point here and the concave base. So again, same thing. We'll be testing these out of the 460 and the 454. Probably won't try these out of the 45 Colt. I just don't think we're going to get enough velocity out of the Colt to do much with these. And that may be typical with some of these. All of these bullets, there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of these bullets right here that we will test in 460 and 454 Casull, and only a few of these that we'll actually get to test in 45 Colt. Next up is the 200 grain FTX, and this is their polymer tip, and this is one of the popular bullets in 460. And so we'll be driving this thing in. The difference between this bullet and the heavier 225 grain, which I also have, and honestly we'll probably be testing these too. I just didn't set them out here. These were purchased as factory seconds from Midway, and if you look at this, the 200 grain has a little bit pointier nose on it than the 225 grain does. So, and the 225 is supposed to have a thinner skin, so it's going to be a little bit more dramatic when it hits the target. But from everything I've read, these make absolutely great plinking and paper punching bullets at a fraction of the cost, especially when you can buy these as factory seconds. All right, moving on. Again, we're back down to the new DGH bullet. This is a 300 grain. And again, this is the antimony heavy lead mix in this that yields almost no expansion at all in this lead. So, you know, this thing acts more like a solid copper bullet, but it is heavier for the volume than a lead bullet is, which allows you to not take up as much room down in the case and actually add a little bit more powder and generate a little bit more energy. Moving on to, wrong one, 240 grain XTP Magnum. And again, this is the heavier nose version of the XTP bullet. This nose has got a little bit more lead filled up in it, and it's a little more rigid around the top, and it starts expanding a little bit slower and not hardly as violently as the XTPs do. Then we're going down to the 245 grain SP interlock bullet. And again, this is traditionally not a 460 bullet, but I want to test these things. I want to see what they'll do. This being an interlock bullet, hopefully this thing will roll back into a nice large mushroom head without shedding a lot of lead or peeling off a lot of this copper jacket. Time will tell. And now we're moving into the solid coppers. So we have two different examples here. We've got the 200 grain XPB, and we have the 275 grain XPB. So here's what 75 grains of weight difference looks like in a lead bullet. And this is what I was talking about a while ago. So extra weight on a bullet has to go down in the case most of the time. Otherwise, the bullet grows this way and it becomes too long. The overall length has to be maintained. So what happens is heavier bullets typically take up more case volume and by the very nature reduce the amount of powder you can put in that, which generates a slower velocity. It compounds with a heavier bullet and less powder to generate slower velocities. And again, this 200 grain out of this 460 should do some pretty wicked things. And I would expect this one here to do a lot as well. Maybe less penetration because of the slower velocity, but the heavier weight, less expansion because of the slower velocity, but the heavier weight will probably provide more penetration. And last in this .452 diameter series is the Sierra jacketed hollow point. This is their handgun bullet, Sportsmaster. And this just is a typical soft nose hollow point. And again, this thing's probably going to be overdriven out of the 460 at close range, but farther down range it will come into its own. And this bullet should do really well in 454 and possibly even 45 Colt. All right, guys, I'm back with the second round of the big boy bullets here, and we're looking at the 50 caliber bullets this time. 350 grain. This is the soft point deep curl bullet as opposed to the deep curl hollow point. I do actually have some 350 grain deep curl hollow points as well that we'll be testing, and a lot of these will be tested in 500. All of these will be tested in 500 Smith & Wesson, but I also have a few of these that I'm going to be running in 50 Beowulf. So any of these bullets that will lend themselves to being able to feed in the AR platform, we will also test these in 50 Beowulf as well. And moving on down the line, back to this this DGH bullet that keeps popping up, guys. Like I said, I got every bullet made in DGH except for the 9mm. And honestly, I wasn't looking at 9mm bullets, and or I would have picked that box up just to have had the entire line of them up in here. But this is a 500 grain bullet, and this thing is absolutely massive. And again, that antimony heavy lead mix here that provides a heavy bullet with just a little bit less volume than what a traditional lead mix jacketed bullet would have. So again, looking forward to seeing how far these things drive through the gel block. This will be another one of those 8 gel block tests, more than likely, like we did with the 444 Marlin. And moving on down, we've got the Sierra 400 grain jacketed soft point. And these are really similar to this 350 grain deep curl from Spear that we looked at just a minute ago. And it'll be curious to see how these two stack up beside each other when we're doing our testing. And then we have the 350 grain jacketed hollow point from Sierra. And this is a big old flat gapping hollow point. Look at this. So that looks pretty mean. I wouldn't want to be hit by any of these, but just looking at this, it looks like it would hurt a lot more than the other ones would. And moving on down, we've got our last two offerings in the Barnes XPBs. We've got the 325 grain XPB and the 375 grain XPB. So again, we got a 50 grain weight difference between these two bullets. And right here is a look. Get it on camera here. Here is a look at the difference that 50 grains makes in this bullet. So from the cantilever up to the nose, they're the same length. All that extra weight goes down inside the case. All right, guys, and there it is. So 24 new bullets on the bench, and that's on top of the backlog I've already had from the Kentucky Range Time channel being running with 2 strikes. When I get 2 strikes, I basically just quit posting all new content to the channel to allow those strikes the 90 days to drop off to ensure that I don't lose that page and the 5 years worth of work and gel block testing and stuff I've got in there. So all totaled up, these 25 bullets and the other 25 or 30 bullets that I still have over there to be loaded, and another 15 or 20 bullets that I do have loaded up, puts me up around 70 different bullets that I already have in shop waiting to test. And guys, at some point I'm going to have to get retired just so I can get all these gel block tests done. I can squeeze in 3 to 4, sometimes 5 tests in one day, and then it takes me about 6 days to reheat and remold the gel block and be able to go out and do another range test. So even when the weather is good, I'm still kind of limited. And as the heat comes up for the summer, it kills the batteries on my cameras and everything a lot quicker. So 3 to 4 tests is about the limit for one range trip. So I'm looking at like 20 some range trips just to get caught back up. Just doing gel block testing on top of everything else. So anyway, guys, got plenty to do, and the testing, I am posting reloading content and gear and equipment reviews up on this channel, all gel block tests and all firearms reviews, which I have about 8 or 10 to do right now to get caught up. We'll be going on the primary channel, Kentucky Range Time, and those probably won't be showing up until the end of May to early June before I start posting over there again. But a lot of this content will be going up over on Rumble. So if there's something specific that you want to see, message me and make sure, and I'll put it up on Rumble. Rumble is not, and I'm going to do a video on this here in a few weeks too, but I will say this, Rumble is really hindered unfairly by a couple of other very large companies who compete with them. And I've got an entire video that I can demonstrate how that works. And even the AI will admit exactly what's happening here, and why Rumble just does not work for the types of content that most gun pages do. And we'll go into that in depth in a video. Hopefully I'll have that out and up here within, let's be reasonable, 2 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks. I hope to have that video actually produced and actually upload that. Because lots of guys are always like, go to Rumble, go to Rumble. And well, I go to Rumble, but everybody else doesn't. So, all right, guys, Matt from Kentucky Range Time. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.